we have to discount it to the present value formula.
And exactly, if you are given discount and you are given cash flows, you have to discount it. Future value in use is actually interested in present value. So they will give you cash flows. This one is even just one cash flow. You can get more than one cash flows. So inflows and then outflows like 5. And you'll be given a discount rate. So you would have to discount all those inflows and outflows into their present value, right? So you know that when you're having inflow, you deduct the outflows from the inflows to get a net inflow, right? You discount it and into the present value to get a value in use. That is why in this statement, I said that it's determined by estimating future cash flows to be derived from the use of the asset and its ultimate disposal, and applying a suitable discount rate. And applying to a suitable discount rate, right, to these cash flows. Are you fine?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay. So now, all right. I believe someone confirmed this figure and it was correct, right?
Yes.
Or I should calculate my 10.
Yes.
It's correct, right?
It's
Okay.
yes.
No problem. So how do we record this in the financial statement? How do we treat it in the financial statement? How do we treat this in the financial statement? Yes. So where will impairment loss go? Impairment loss. It will go to the P&L, right, as an expense.
Yes.
And then
you credit the assets account.
you credit the asset account. What else?
Yes.
Did that same Robert? What else? Anything? Will anything go to OCI? Would we get OCI?
No.
Nothing under OCI. Okay. How would the answer to part A be different if there was a balance of 10,000 in other component of equity relating to prior revaluation of this specific asset? So part A, how would it be different if there was a balance of 10,000 in other components? So how other components of what relating to equity? So what will happen? Assuming other components, so that is the OCI, right? Is that the OCI? Is the other component the OCI?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Hello. Okay.
I think
so. So if it's the OCI, assuming in the OCI balance there is 10,000, you're having 10,000 in the OCI. So OCI is 10,000. There's a balance 10,000. What will happen? So we would reduce this. We would use the 10,000 to reduce the impairment loss, and then the difference would go to P&L, and that same difference Yeah, we use the difference to reduce what the impairment loss, and the difference will go to P&L, and then the impairment loss, the entire impairment loss will go to what the asset. We'll go and reduce the asset account. So that is it. Okay. So let's continue with discounting. Okay, so the next thing I'll talk about is the discount rate to use. Which of the discount to use? Sometimes it can be given two discounts. So the discount rate to use. Sometimes in a question you can be given more than one discount. You have the pre-tax discount and the post-tax discount. So let's look at something like that.
So please, can you go over the explanation for the D part?
All right. So with explanation on that, the question says, assume that there was 10,000 at the OCI. So OCI is 10,000, and OCI is a positive balance, right? OCI is a positive balance. Impairment loss is actually a negative balance, right? So OCI will reduce this impairment loss by 10,000. This is positive, this is negative. So this will reduce it by 10,000. The difference will still go to P&L. P&L. So what to be the difference? Assuming it's 10,000. To be 1,52893 minus 10,000. That will be the amount that will go to P&L, right? Because that is still a loss, and the loss debited to expenses, which will go to profit and loss by that amount. And then your asset will still be credited. You credit assets with the 1,52893. That is it. Are you fine now?
Where are you going?
Hello, are you fine now? Okay, so let's continue. So let's talk about discount rates. In some certain instances, you can be given two discounts. So the discount rate you use. To use when so you can be given pre-tax and post-tax what discount. So IAS 36 impairment of assets state that in measuring value in use, the discount rate should use the discount rate that should be used should be the pre-tax rate. Should be the what pre-tax what rate. Should be the pre-tax rate, which reflect the current market assessment, right? Which reflect the current market assessment of the time value of money and the risks specific to that asset, right? So if you are using the pre-tax rate, it means that there should be pre-tax cash flows. So you relate it to the pre-tax cash flows, right? So pre-tax cash flow and then pre-tax discount rates should be used to calculate the value in use. Should be used to calculate the value in use. pre-tax cash flows and pre-tax discounts, pre-tax discount rates should be used to calculate the value in use. To calculate the value in use. So let's look at an example like that. Let's look at an example like that. An example like that. An example like that. Okay. All right. So let me share the example. All right. I've shared the example. I've shared the example. Okay. So someone should do this. Will be our last question. Then we call it a ninth.
Illustration 5. 𝑦𝑴𝑷𝑨𝑰𝑹 Timber Limited produces and exports lumber and planks. Its own plant, which has a book value of 1,800,000 as at 1st January 2010. The government of Ghana passes a legislation that restricts the exportation of lumber. Consequently, GCL has to reduce production by 40%. Cash flow forecast for the next 5 years included in the budget submitted for management approval in January 2010 showed the following. The cash flow forecast for 2014 includes expected proceeds 60,000 from disposal of the plant. The cash flow projections also ignore the effect general upward movements in prices. It is estimated that if the plant is sold in January 2010, it would realize a net proceeds of 1,320,000. The cost of capital for GBL is 15%, ignoring inflationary effects required. Calculate the recoverable amount of the plant and impairment loss, if any.
Okay, so recoverable amount and then plant and then impairment loss, if any, right? So start with our Guaso. The illustration. This one is 5. Okay. Guaso Timber Limited. Books of Guaso Timber Limited, right? Okay. So they are to calculate the recoverable amount and then the value in use. So as I was saying, with respect to the value in use, we know that recoverable amount is higher of what the value in use and then the net realizable value. So here, did they give us the net realizable value? Also limited exports, its own plans of 800,000. The government Ghana passes a legislation that restricts the exportation of timber. Consequently, GTL has to reduce the production by 40%. By 40%, right? Cash flows forecast for the next 5 years, included in the budget submitted. Blah, blah, blah. The cash flow forecast for 2014 includes expected proceeds of what? 60,000, right? 60,000. And then from disposal of the plant, the cash flow projections ignore the effects of general upwards movement in prices. It is estimated that if the plant is sold in January 2010, it will realize the net proceeds. So that is the net realizable value. The cost of capital is 15%, ignoring inflation effect. So we know that the recoverable amount is what? Higher of net realizable value. What is the net realizable value? That is what?
Fair value less cost to sell.
Do you have any less cost to sell here? Any less cost to sell here? So there is no less cost to sell. Therefore, we assume that the cost to sell is 0, right? So our net realizable value is 132,000. 132,000. Right. Now we've worked for the value in use. So this is the value in use where I said we can give you more than one cash flow. What we solved was just one inflow, right? For 2 years. So cash value in use, right? So this we are computing our value in use. So here, because it's more than one cash flow, so we can have our year, our cash flow, our discount factor. So what is the discount factor from the question? What is the discount factor? The cost of capital is what? 15%. 15%. And then we can get our present value, because the value in use is actually interested in the present value. We are discounting all these cash flows into the present value. So okay. So now, what is the first year?
2010.
So the first year is what? 2010. What is the cash flow for 2010? What is the cash flow for
552,000.
552,000. So what is the discount on that? 15%. So usually leave your answer in 3 decimal place, since you'll be using it in the computation. All right, so give me the discount in 3 decimal place.
$880,202.
Say 82,800.
Yeah, 82,800.
Give me the discount factor. And you are saying what?
Wait.
0.150.
0.150. Hey, it is what it is.
0.8.
0. What?
I think it's raised to the power 1. Or
Is it 1 or 0?
yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it a 0?
And
Yeah, 1.
0.8696.
Leave it in 3 decimal place.
0.88 0.870.
0.870. You leave it in 1 decimal place. It's 3 decimal place. So I believe you use this, right?
Yes. Should we do it year 1 or year 0?
Yeah, 1.
Okay.
This is the discount factor. It's called a discount factor for a single cash flow. We have a discount factor for annuity. This is a discount factor for just a single cash flow. All right. I want to clean this. Can I clean this? Hello, can I clean this?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So then you multiply it by this. What are you getting?
$480,000.
480,000.
480,000.
That's it.
So 480,000. 480,240. Okay. Okay. So now, okay. So now, what's the cash flow for 11? 11 is what? Is 506,000. 506,000. What is the discount factor for year 2011?
0.756.
0. What?
756.
756. So if you multiply, what do you have?
382,536.
382,536.
536.
Okay. And then for 2012, what is the cash flow? That is 376,000. What is the discount factor 2012?
0.658.
0. What?
658.
0.658.
8.
$247,408.
247,408. Cash flow is how much? 350. What is the discount factor?
0.576.
0.572. So what are we getting?
$143,000.
What are you getting?
143,000.
143,000. And then 2014, what do you have?
$560,000.
So 560,000. And then what is the discount factor?
0.497.
0.497. So what do you have?
$278,303.
200 and what?
78,000.
320.
Okay. Alright, so what is the total value in use?
Mm. 2,784,688.
Come again.
2,784,688.
Are you all getting this answer?
What?
688.
No.
Yeah.
Are you all getting this?
So please, I have 1 million.
Oh. Yeah,
Hmm?
Miss, I had 1 million.
1,531,500.
1 million.
531,000.
500.
31,504.
500 and what?
So,
4.
4. Okay. So this is the 2,000 for the value in use. So we said that recoverable amount is higher of the two. Therefore, what is our recoverable amount? What is the recoverable amount?
the value in
Value in use. And I said that usually the value in use is always the highest. Usually the value in use is always the highest. So, and they said, and if there is any impairment loss, right? So what then is the impairment? Is there any impairment loss? Impairment loss is what carrying amount less the recoverable, right? So what the carrying amount? Kwasu Timber Limited produces and exports timber, lumber, and planks. It owns a plant which has a book value. The book value is the same as carrying value or the carrying amount. So the book value carrying amount. So the carrying amount is how much? What is the carrying amount? 1,800,000.
yes.
Minus
1,503,1,504.
531. So what then is our impairment loss?
268,496.
268,496.
496.
Okay. So this becomes our impairment loss, if any. All right. So let's try another one. I don't know if you have time. What's the time? 9:40. We add one last one or?
No.
Can I please ask a question?
Yes.
Okay.
The one I was away for a while, so I don't understand how we didn't use the 15% as it was, but we used that formula.
The 15% is the discount. Those amounts are future values, right? This amount are future value. Cash flow forecast for the next 5 years. Cash flow forecast for the next 5 years. Can you see that? Cash flow forecast for the next 5 included in there. So those these cash flows, we would like to know them in the present terms. And how do we know them in the present terms? By using the single value amount. So this one is not annuity because the cash flows are not uniform. This is single value cash flow. So we are going to use the present value for a single amount. So what is the present value for a single amount? That is 1/1 plus R. Right? So we multiply the cash flow by the discount factor. Or we can say that this is the same as C over, you are discounting it. So this is present value. Remember that present value is equal to future value over over 1 plus R. Do you remember this formula?
Yes.
Yes.
So that is the same thing. So this is the formula for future value because they are for present value. Sorry, they are all in the future value. So you have to discount it. And I said the value you use is interested in the present value, right? So if it's interested in the present value, then we would have to use the present value formula. So this present value now you have to deduce the discount factor. Discount factor is 1 plus Rn. So I believe this equation is the same as this equation. Is it the same?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
the same. And this one alone is called the DS, discount factor. So the discount factor, if you're just interested in this, then you multiply it by future value or the cash. These are the cash flows. You just multiply. You are actually finding the present value. That's why I did it this way.
Please, I want to ask a question.
Okay.
Yeah, so the 60,000 from the proceed, that was the 60,000 from the disposal of the plant. You wouldn't use it, right?
What do you think we'll do with that? What do you think we'll do with that?
It's an inflow or it's a cash inflow.
It's an inflow, but all of them are also inflow. All of these are inflows, right? They
Yeah.
are all in, right? So, what do you think we'll do with that?
I don't know.
If it was to be an outflow, would have deducted it from the 60,000. Yes, if it was an outflow, but they are saying it's 560,000.
Yeah.
But they are saying it's an inflow, and we are working all the cash flows are inflows. So it is just there to give you more information. Remember, sometimes they give you a lot of information, but not all the figures that you use. It's a relevant one that is associated to the question that they are going to use. So 60,000 is there, yes. So just leave it like that, or just leave it like that.
So if it was, let's say, the cash flow forecast for 2014 includes like an outflow of 60, that one we would subtract it from the 500 before putting the discount factor on it.
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Should we solve one more question? There's this question that I wanted to solve. The one that you the post and the pre-tax rate. I think that was what I even talked about. Or it is time. Let me see. Should we solve that one or another time?
Yes.
Another time.
Hello.
Well, let's solve it.
Hey, is that performer? Performer, you are becoming serious. Why do you like learning like that?
When is there another time?
Oh, another time would definitely come. You meet before you write exams, right?
Okay.
Mr. Philip,
Yeah.
please, with the question we just solved, is it the discounting factor you talked about? You just stated that you just wrote that present value that we knew already But when I tried using that, the answer is not the same as what we got.
Come again.
Since I'm saying that
Mhm.
with the discounting, I tried using the the formula where future value over 1 plus the interest raised to the power the number of years, but I didn't get the same thing as what we got.
So you tried this. Look at it. You tried PV is equal to this. Tried PV is equal to future value over 1 plus R. This
It's nice.
the 5
How may be
all
going?
over.
How may be going?
See,
So
what is
it's because of the approximation with the discounting factor.
that? Say, me, brother, me, design is the answer. So, what there is? Is it this? Did you use something like this?
So yes,
Yeah.
but you not get the same answer.
Yes. Why do you want to get the same answer?
It's because of the approximation.
Because of the approximation. Here we use 3 decimal place. If someone use 4 decimal place, our answers will definitely not be the same. Someone will also use 2 decimal place. The answers will not be the same.
Why you
But
did your hair? There. And that's almost telling me.
hey, who is that?
I say you did your hair there. Let's 3 months. 3 months now, babe. Actually, you just know you're coming. Oh no.
Okay. So I believe you get it now. So that is why it's prudent to use 3 decimal places. 3 decimal places. Because in the professional,
So
in the
say
market,
when you solve it straight away, is it wrong? Or
it should be marked correct. You should get correct. Yeah, it should be correct. But sometimes in the marking scheme, you have 3 decimal places. So if the person is not too sharp, he or she might give you wrong before realizing that, oh, you actually um divided by the whole thing, or you use. So in fact, you have to show the decimal place you are using. Like if you are using 3 decimal place, you indicate so the person is like, oh, okay, 3 decimal place. So let me multiply this by that. We are not supposed to divide everything. If you divide everything, how it means you've not shown this. You need to indicate this, right? Show this. So if someone is using 4 decimal place, maybe add 4. If the person multiply, he will definitely get a slight difference. What I say. Not too the difference is not too big, but it's because of the approximation. So don't worry with that. But I advise you use 3 decimal places because professional exams, that is the decimal that they use in discounting, 3 decimal place. So I think my battery is also almost off, and
So please, when you were started with the question, we wrote a recoverable amount of 1,320,000, but then we didn't use it in our solution.
oh, why didn't I use it in my solution? So I just wrote it writing sick. Oh, I see. So where's that recoverable amount? Is it this one? This one?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I thought I used it. The recoverable amount is the higher of net realizable value. This is the net realizable value and the value in use. What did you get for the value in use? Not the value in use. The whole workings is just for value in use. The value in use is 153150. So we pick the highest, which is the value in use. And I say that usually the value in use is always the highest, usually. So that's why I said, therefore, recoverable amount is 1531504. Any other question? All right. So in the answers, of any person, then we call it a night.
Okay.
Thank you.
God bless.
Amen.